Team Supreme. Y'all know what it is. It's reaction time. And look, y'all been telling me to do these stories with my unc. So it's about time to do these stories with my unc. Now check this out. I got my popcorn ready. Just made me some. I made it. We don't do the microwave thing around here. Made me some popcorn. Got me one of these that I might as well drink water. And I'm about to watch these stories, man, and let's see what it's hitting for, all right? Y'all already know what to do, man. We accomplishing goals, and let's get it.
Welcome to Ghost Stories with yours truly, Tom MacDonald. We're gonna have to take a trip in the Wayback Machine for this one, because this happened a long time ago. The year is 2012. Thankfully, the Mayan calendar was wrong, and the much publicized end of the world didn't come.
Mm-hmm.
But it still got weird. It still got really weird. This all started with a music video shoot in the small Canadian town, abandoned Canadian town of Tranquil. But it wasn't until after this whole ordeal, it wasn't until after everything that I'm about to tell you, it wasn't until after all of that we found out that Tranquil is actually one of the most haunted places in North America. Let's start from the beginning. So there was three of us. There was myself, the music video director, and my producer at the time, Olivier. We all piled into a vehicle on a Friday afternoon and started the long drive to a long forgotten corner of the Canadian Pacific Northwest. We were unknowingly embarking on...
Hey guys, y'all want some? Y'all want a little bit? It's good, man. Don't nobody make popcorn like me. Nobody. Y'all want some? Because we about to get to the good part.
What would turn out to be one of the most terrifying experiences of all of our lives.
Okay.
Aside from a traffic jam on the highway, it was a rather long and uneventful drive. As we drew closer and closer to Tranquil, things gradually became more and more desolate. The cars that we were sharing the highway with gradually disappeared. Street lights gave way to pine trees, and the tiny communities that just dot the edges of the asphalt were just eventually swallowed up by the suffocating Canadian wilderness. Paved roads turned to gravel, and the gravel roads turned to dirt roads, and the vast forest around us just seemed to entirely close in. And when the paved roads turned to gravel roads and the gravel roads turned to dirt roads, that's when we reached the Iron Gates. Our final destination, Tranquil, had been cut off from the rest of the world for quite some time. Essentially, Tranquil...
Listen, y'all. Y'all know I do music. And I love different locations. I like for my shit to be fire and exclusive. I'm not doing that, y'all. First off, I'm not taking no road trips. I'm not doing that. Secondly, I don't even like to go to places that ain't got street lights and shit, especially at nighttime. I just don't fuck around. So if I'm driving around and the street turns to gravel and the gravel turns to dirt, hell no. And then when I get there, it's an iron gate.
Welcome to hell.
Right there. No, I'm not doing that shit.
Tranquil was home to Canadians who had tuberculosis, and at the time tuberculosis was incurable and highly infectious. Sound familiar? They pretty much shipped everyone in Canada who had tuberculosis. They shipped all of those people to Tranquil, this tiny town in the middle of nowhere, and they shipped them there to, well, die, essentially.
Damn.
Anyway, we didn't know any of that. All we knew was we had to shoot a music video, and this was the perfect place to do it, and we were going to get it done. So there we were in the middle of nowhere. We pulled
Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Hold on. Yeah, y'all. I had to do a little switch change out. I don't know what. Whoever made that, I don't know if that was a bad batch. I'm not sure. Okay.
All we knew was we had to shoot a music video, and this was the perfect place to do it, and we were going to get it done. So there we were in the middle of nowhere. We pulled the car over to the side of the dirt road. We unpacked everything we needed, lights and cameras and bags and outfits and all that stuff.
Right.
And we cut into the trees to get around the iron gate that was blocking the road, and we were on our way. So after a short hike through the trees, we came up over the...
See? You know you in trouble when you go to a place that got a big ass iron gate, right? But the thing about the iron gate is you don't need to open it to get in. You can walk around the motherfucker. That's a red flag. If you got a big ass gate attached to nothing, you're switching over to a different universe, different realm or some shit. Something on the other side of that fence. As soon as you go around the side of that bitch, you done transferred in the energy. It done orbited, and now you about to fuck around and face a damn ghost or something.
top of a hill, and
Not me.
there it was. Just silent and still and forgotten. There was schools and houses and convenience stores and hospitals and libraries and paint chips just peeling off the outside of the
Silent Hill?
exteriors of these buildings, just flapping in the wind. Just seemed like they were just clinging to a time a little less lonely. We had arrived
You went to Silent Hill.
at Tranquil. So we made our way down the hill and we crossed the train tracks that encircled the town, and there was no signs of life. And when I say no signs of life, I mean nothing. No birds, no coyotes, no bugs, no
See?
nothing.
Because everybody
Nothing
it was all dead.
like what you would expect of a town encapsulated in a massive forest in the middle of nowhere. So we made our way towards the 3 dilapidated houses. They were just on the outskirts of town, and they were identical. And they sat all in a row. Same paint, same windows, same doors.
That's
same
all they had
front
was 3 of
steps. Each house as perfectly the same as the next. Anyway, as we got closer, you could practically hear these houses moaning from years of being neglected and years without maintenance. It almost felt and sounded like something was stirring around inside them, and to be completely honest, I wasn't entirely sure I wanted to find out what that something was. But it turns out that I didn't have a choice. While I was standing there just sort of lost in thought and just gripped by this almost tangible apprehension about the situation at hand, something emerged from the middle house. 2 teenage kids, and we stopped dead in our tracks. So it was this boy and this girl, and they sort of like bounced toward us across this like sun-bleached pavement, and their demeanor was weird. So they got close enough to us, and I said to the boy, I said,
What's up?
"What are you guys doing here?" And like I said, their demeanor was strange. Well, maybe strange isn't the right word. Their demeanor just did not fit
What'd he say?
the situation.
What did he
They
say?
were just like smiling and happy, and they seemed like they were
What
excited
the
to
hell
see us.
did he
And to
say,
me,
Unc?
that didn't fit the vibe.
What'd he
So the
say?
boy spoke first, and he said, "We're just hanging out, just checking out the abandoned town, and we're filming it with this camcorder." And I was like, "Cool, well, did you see anything weird?" And he said, "Nope, not yet." And then the girl just like interjected, and she was like, "Oh, be careful in the houses. Like a lot of the floors are rotting, and if you go upstairs, you could fall through, and it's really friggin' dangerous." I don't really remember much else about that conversation. It was maybe like 3 minutes long, and they darted off in the other direction, and we just continued on our way. So we went into the house that our new friends just emerged from, and
Nope. And I'm disappointed in Tom because you grew up in the hood like me, Tom. You know what the fuck going on. We don't do shit like that. No. What? No. First off, we ain't even crossing no damn railroad tracks to get anywhere. Anywhere. I don't give a fuck if it's across the street. We ain't doing it. No. What couldn't have been me. Then you got 2 weird ass kids bouncing towards you. Happy go lucky. Talk about not yet. What? What's going on? Oh, nothing. We're just looking for something weird to happen. Not yet. No.
And the girl wasn't lying. There was a massive hole in the ceiling of the living room where it looked like something on the top floor had fallen through and landed in a giant heap of rubble just sitting on the floor in the living room. It was trippy. So the more we explored, the weirder it got. Like inside the school, there was 3 inches of dust on the desks, and the day's lessons were still scribbled on the chalkboard, and there was pencils and erasers just littered about.
That was the bathroom?
Workstations. And if you picked anything up, you leave a perfect impression of whatever you picked up on the surface that you picked it up off of. Like, this stuff literally hadn't been touched in years.
Okay.
After roaming through like half a dozen buildings, we had finally made our decision where we were going to start shooting this music video, and we decided on, of course,
upstairs,
the sanatorium.
Oh.
So we were walking down the main street on our way back to the hospital when I noticed something peculiar. Peculiar?
I fuck up words all the time. Don't even matter.
When I noticed something up.
Uh-huh.
There was this small white brick building that was just sort of jetting out of the dirt right on the edge of town. And we had a long day of shooting ahead of us, but
It's pretty interesting, ain't it, guys? Couldn't have been me, though. I wouldn't have been able to tell you this story. My story would have stopped right after the beginning. I'd have been like, hey, man, let's go to Transylvania, Canada. I'd have said nope. Then they would have been like, hey, man, it would have been a dope. It's going to be a good video shoot, man. It's the only place we can do it. What I got to do to get there? How far is it? Oh, man, a few hours down the road. Where the flight at? Where the airport? Oh, no, we driving. Nope. Not doing it. If by some chance they convince me to get in, as we traveling down this road and it turns to gravel and the trees start to disappear and it's darkness and it's uncomforting, I would have been like, nope, turn the fuck around. I'll make the video off my phone in the bathroom. That's how I feel about it.
Keel just felt like it was some sort of portal to like an alternate dimension.
See what I tell y'all?
So captured.
I just told y'all, if you see a fence and the bitch not connected to something, on the other side is a portal. When you walk in, you transfer the energy over, your ass in a different dimension. The reason why he ain't seen no damn body because everybody was dead. But they live there though. I'm trying to tell y'all. I already know what's about to happen.
Captured by the mystery of this town that like work came second and we just wanted to explore. So
oh no.
We took off towards that white building.
No.
So this building was essentially just like a brick box. It was maybe like 10 feet tall by 20 feet long and 20 feet wide. And it had one of those big metal doors on it. It was like like something that you'd see on a government building. It was that light green color, kind of sun bleached by the sun.
Too many red
missing
flags.
its doorknobs. I walked over, no windows on this thing, can't see inside. So I
It's a
walked
death
over to
chamber.
this big green door and I put my hand inside where the doorknob's supposed to be, and I jerked the door open. So it was dark, and it was not the type of dark that you're familiar with. This wasn't like 1 a.m. in my house dark. This was like pitch blackness. But we're here to shoot a music video, right?
Look, I don't know if y'all ever seen anything that dark, what he's talking about. I did. I went on a cruise. And if y'all been on a cruise, y'all know what I'm talking about. I went on a cruise, and I was in the middle of the ocean. And it was late. I don't know what time it was, 2 o'clock in the morning. And, you know, I walk out the room and shit. And my room had a window and everything. But I walk outside. I go outside. I go up to the little deck part area and shit. And when I tell y'all, you can't see I don't care. Look, you can put your hand in front of your face. You can't see it. It's pitch. If it ain't no light right there by you, you can forget it. But if you look out into that sea, the ocean, that water is black like a crayon, man. Dark as hell. So I know exactly what he's talking about. That shit ain't no joke.
So we got lights. So I grab one of the lights and I turn that motherfucker on. So when I turn the light on,
Absolutely.
there's nothing in this room. There's no windows. There's no doors. There's nothing on the walls. There's not even flooring. It's just plain concrete.
Torture room.
It's as plain and white on the inside as it was on the outside, with the exception of one thing.
Chains.
A staircase going down. I'd be lying if I said we weren't scared, because we were freaked the out, man.
But y'all did it. Y'all.
But here's the thing about 3 dudes hanging out is none of these dudes is going to admit to any of the other dudes that they're scared, because that's not what dudes do. So
I'm scared as fuck. I'm not going down there. Matter of fact, I'm not going into this building. I'm telling whoever, I don't give a fuck if I was the only. Listen, it could have been me, Mike Tyson, The Rock, Jason Statham, Vin Diesel, whoever the fuck is scary in the world, big, cocky, strong, beat the shit out of people, all of them, Bruce Lee. Hey, I'm not going down there. Nope, I am afraid. I'm scared. I'm timid. You can call me names. I don't give a fuck. I will meet y'all when y'all come up and show me the pictures that y'all take. Close enough for me. I don't know what type of ego shit Tom got going on, but me, no.
We're all terrified, but nobody's going to admit that they're terrified to anybody else. So in the greatest display of masterfully fabricated machismo in the history of mankind, we go down the stairs.
Nope.
We are so deep in denial and so unwilling to admit that we're afraid in front of another man that we forced ourselves to go down a set of stairs into a black hole inside an abandoned town in the middle of nowhere.
Not me.
And you know what? I could barely comprehend what was at the bottom of those stairs.
Oh, yeah, what
Medical
was it?
equipment.
Told you.
Everywhere.
Death chamber.
X-ray machines and surgery tables and scalpels and wheelchairs and rolling beds. Just everywhere. All covered in dust. Untouched for years. So there's 3 walls down here. And there's a doorway on each wall. No door, just a doorway. So I shine the light through the first doorway. Long concrete hall. I shine the light through the second doorway. Long concrete hall. And then I shine the light through the third doorway.
He was playing Outlast.
You guessed it. Long concrete hall. Still neglecting the sheer terror that's permeating every cell in our bodies. Mm-hmm. We somehow choose a doorway.
Oh, no.
Walk through it.
Nope.
And start our journey into the abyss. And what we found were just more concrete hallways and more wheelchairs and more rolling beds and more hallways and more doorways and more concrete halls. This was a labyrinth of underground concrete halls. And we decided it was a cool place to shoot a scene for a music video, so we started shooting a music video.
Oh,
I'm
no.
not even exaggerating.
Oh,
We
no.
probably had that camera turned on for 30 seconds before we had to turn it off because started getting weird. I just remember saying, "Cut the camera." Did you guys hear that? And we all just stood there.
They probably psyched themselves out. They was already scared. You know, when your brain start, if you think something is true, you trick your mind to convince it, right? Like people be like, "Oh man, I don't feel good, man. I got a headache, whatever." You keep on saying that shit, your head will start hurt. You will make your head hurt because you will believe your head is hurting. If that makes sense. I might not be explaining it exactly the way I want to, but y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about.
They're just quiet and motionless in the 10-foot section of hallway that our lights would illuminate. And I am not kidding you.
What happened?
Somewhere out there, beyond where our lights could reach, footsteps.
Nah, y'all didn't hear that.
I remember my producer, Olivier, just sort of laughing like, "No f***ing way. No f***ing way." We just stood there, frozen with fear.
Not me.
We just stood there and
I'd have ran.
we just listened. And we heard voices. Voices somewhere way out there in that maze of concrete hallways, just echoing through everywhere. And I just said, "Yo, pack up the camera. Let's get the out of here now." As we're packing up to leave, I noticed that just out of our light's reach, I see a door. And it's a big-ass metal one. So I squeeze past Olivier, and I walk over to the door. It's this giant steel door, and it's just flush with the concrete inside this hallway. And I just push it open. It's the basement of a house. I just said, yo, shine that light over here.
Now
There's
that's
another
crazy.
big metal door 6 feet away.
That was the doctor house. That's crazy right there, though. The basement of a house lead to a damn, whatever the fuck you called it, labyrinth. Now that's some scary shit. Like, just to know what they was doing at that time. Couldn't have been me, though. I wouldn't have knew nothing about it. No.
Way. And I walk up to it and I push it open. Basement of a house. And then another door and I push that open and it's a basement of a house. And as we walk out of this labyrinth of concrete hallways, more doors, more basements of more houses. So it was at this point that I realized that this wasn't a regular town. There was something going on here. Something that required every house in town to be accessible by these underground tunnels that all led to a massive underground medical lab. Needless to say, we needed to shoot this music video and get the hell out of there.
Fuck that video!
By the time we found our way out of these underground tunnels and we reached the surface of Tranquille once again, it had gotten dark. And you know what's creepier than an abandoned town in the middle of nowhere with an underground mad scientist lab? A creepy ass abandoned town in the middle of nowhere with an underground mad scientist lab in the dark, son.
Yeah.
That being said,
I agree.
Next couple hours went by rather smoothly, and we got some cool shots and some cool places. We pretty much got everything we needed and had wrapped up the music video. But this is where the really haunted starts.
Because I was about to say, when people tell me stuff and I listen to stories, I try my best to put my, that's why horror games and shit, like, I love them, but I hate playing them. I'm scared. I ain't gonna lie. I be so scared to play them games and shit, man. Because I put myself in the, like, you know, because most of them first person. So I'm looking like it's me. That's me walking around the bit. It's me walking around and I see motherfucking balls bouncing in front of me and I hear doors creaking open and shit. That's me. Me. So every time somebody tell me something, I try to put myself in their shoes, right? The only reason why I can't get all the way in on this, right, far as put myself in Tom's shoes, because I wouldn't have done it. No, I wouldn't have done it. It's no way. It's no way. But I gotta hear what the fuck coming on. Y'all want? I got a little bit more popcorn. Any y'all want some? Y'all wanna kinky cocktail? Y'all want some? Yeah, you good? All right, come on, y'all.
We finish the shoot, pack up
It's
the
getting
gear,
weird.
hike up the hill, sneak through the trees, go around the Iron Gate, and get back to the car. We've escaped Tranquille.
Yeah, good
Or
job.
so we thought. We load everything into the trunk of the car, and the director says, "Oh, I'm missing one of my lights.
Oh, that bitch
I'm
would have left.
missing a light."
It would have been.
And I'm like,
it would have been
so
there.
What?
Yeah,
dude?
exactly.
That light. Let's get the out of here. And the director goes, "Oh well, it was a $1,200 light."
So
And I said, I don't give a I'm not going back into the creepy abandoned town in the middle of nowhere with the underground mad scientist lab.
this is where our bloodline connects. Exactly.
I'm not going back.
No.
And Olivier says, I'm with Tom. I'm not going back
Yeah.
either. And the director says, somebody has to go back because I need that light. So
I'll wait
let's
for
all
you.
play rock, paper, scissors. for
No.
it. And the loser goes back into the town to get the light. Look, I never liked fucking rock, paper, scissors.
No. And it's your light. I'm not going for it. I'm not about to risk my motherfucking life on a rock, paper, scissors game. And then when I win, you gonna say 2 out of 3? Fuck no. Listen, it's your light. If you want it, you get it. I'm going to wait right here for your ass. And if you don't come in a decent amount of time, I will call for help and I'm getting the fuck out. And I will wait for your ass back in Toronto.
I hate that When there's something that somebody has to do and it's an undesirable task, everybody's always like, let's play rock, paper, scissors. I hate rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah.
It's an impossible game to win. I always lose. We agree we'll play rock, paper, scissors. Guess what? I lose. Of course, I lose. But I'm not going back. I'm not going back.
Yeah, fuck
I'm
that.
acting like a child, and Olivier has always been the more mature of our sort of duo. So he stands up, and he's just sick of listening to us and complain, and he goes, you know what? I will go back. I'll go back and get the light.
Okay.
Where is it? And the director says, it's in the sanatorium. Of course it's in the sanatorium. Where else would it be? Where else would the lost light be than the most haunted possible place in this abandoned town?
Exactly.
It wouldn't make any sense for it to be anywhere else.
No story.
Olivier goes, okay, cool, I'll go get the light. And with that, Olivier just turns and walks into the darkness. I turn to the director and I'm just like, dude,
We can't let him go by himself.
give me a flashlight. You gotta understand, Olivier isn't just my producer at this point.
That's my dog.
He's my best friend.
Yeah.
And I cannot, in good conscience, let my best friend wander back into an abandoned town to get somebody else's light by himself. I
Oh,
just
somebody
can't-
else's?
So I run to catch up with him. So I reach him and I'm like, I got us a flashlight. And Olivier turns and looks at me and he doesn't say anything. He just smiles, like a full teeth grin, like one of those smiles that somebody makes
He possessed?
when they're terrified or when they're fully aware that they're making a very poor decision and they're about to do something really stupid. Through the forest, around the
No.
fence, up the hill, down into the valley, we are back in Tranquil. It's pitch black now and I'm carrying this little rinky-dinky ass flashlight and we're just navigating through
Ain't
the
no
town
way.
and we're on the way
Ain't no
back
way.
to the sanatorium. I ask Olivier, where do you think, do you have any idea where we put this light? Olivier says, yeah, it's in the big main room.
In the
I
basement.
saw him put it down there. I just don't like him, so I was just gonna let him leave it there and hope that nobody noticed and we'd just drive home and we'd have a good chuckle about this later on.
I would have power slammed his ass into next week. Some friend.
So somehow I managed to let out a muffled laugh because it's funny, but at
it's
the
not.
same time,
It's not funny.
it's the reason why I'm standing in an abandoned town in the middle of nowhere with a creepy ass mad scientist underground lab at like 2 a.m. We go up the old wooden stairs and push this giant creaky ass door open and step inside the sanatorium, and we're at the end of this long hallway. And at the end of that long hallway, there's a giant, big, massive open room, and that's where the light is. So we start walking down this hallway, and there's doorways lining this hallway, and they're all the padded rooms that crazy people would hang out in.
yeah,
We get into the big main room, and as we enter this big main room, I shine the flashlight up on the wall, and just like this
Big
perfect,
ass what?
massive piece of art up on the wall, it is painted, "Please burn me down."
Wow.
Olivier says, oh, there's the light. Walks over, picks the light up, and now that we have this all-important light in our possession,
That's going to change the world. It's going to cure cancer and feed the hungry.
we turn and start walking back down that hallway towards the main door. Now, what happens next is probably the most horrendous thing
Get ready, guys.
that I've ever witnessed in my life, and I'm sure Olivier would say the same thing. In fact, I might actually call him and get his account for this video, but what happens next is the single most horrendous thing that I've ever witnessed in my life.
What happened?
So like I said, the hallway is lined with doors on both sides. right?
What happened?
And they're like holding cells, or they're like padded rooms, or something.
It's crazy shit.
You know
What's
the ones?
happening?
Yeah, you know the ones.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not exactly sure how to explain this. You know
Okay.
that feeling you get when somebody is watching you? Or you know when you see something out of the corner of your eye and you quickly turn your head and there's nothing there? Or you feel the hair raise up on the back of your neck like someone's standing behind you, but by the time you spin around to face it, it's
gone?
gone?
Uh-huh.
Okay, that happened.
What?
to both of us at the exact same time. Except something was watching us. And that thing in the corner of your eye that you don't expect to see when you look, we saw it. And that thing that you feel behind you when the hair raises up on your neck and you spin around, and when you spin around it's gone, it was there when we spun around. In perfect synchronization, all this happened. We turn and shine the flashlight.
What was it?
Into the padded room next to us, and there it is.
A motherfucker?
A shadow standing up from the floor. Not a shadow cast on the floor, a shadow standing up off the floor. It looked just like a person, except it wasn't a person. It was featureless and almost transparent and massive and daunting and rigidly standing there with its arms by its sides. You can't see from where you're at right now, but I have goosebumps all over me. And at the same time, we just started to run. And we were so scared.
And I bet you y'all left that damn light.
And it was so dark. We were just like two frantic animals running from a predator. It was like some sort of primal survival instinct had taken over, and we were just absolutely frantic, and we were falling over each other and tripping over rubble and tripping over pieces of fallen wall and ladders and all of this stuff that we can't see in the dark. And somehow we made it to the front door. We kicked that mother open and ran out into the middle of the street.
Okay.
And we didn't stop running. We weren't even thinking. We were just moving as fast as we could, as far away from whatever the hell that thing was, as far away as we could get. As fast as we could get.
I would have fought his ass. I said, man, don't walk up on me. I'm down here looking for a light that's about to fix the world. Stop Corona, everything. Don't fucking walk up on me. Man, I wouldn't even been in that bitch, bro. I ain't even lying to y'all. It's no way.
There, we were going. And after running for what seemed like a marathon, we just finally stopped and we almost collapsed on the ground, and we're just spinning our heads like a swivel from side to side, just trying to orient ourselves and gain some sort of information about where we had ran to. And I'm gasping for breath and looking around, and I'd say to Olivier, where are we? And Olivier says, I don't know.
Oh.
And I picked a flashlight up and I flash it around and I'm looking. And that's when I have another terrifying realization, and I say out loud,
I'm lost.
Dude, we're lost.
Yep.
And I mean, we're so scared, and it's so dark, and this town is so big that we've completely lost ourselves in what's transpired here. And I remember Olivier gasping, I think the car's that way. You know, and he just kind of points out with one hand, just totally exhausted. So I turn the flashlight in the direction that he's pointing, and I shit you not, I take one step, and this flashlight flickers twice and dies. We're lost.
Oh, yeah.
It's dark.
Oh, yeah.
We have no flashlight, and there's that thing in the sanatorium. I honestly don't remember the next 30 minutes. And I don't remember the next 30 minutes because we were just running on pure adrenaline and racked with fear. But we found our way out. And this time when we crossed those train tracks and went up that hill, before going into that forest, we turned around and we looked down on Tranquil one last time. And guess what?
You said?
The lights in the sanatorium were on. So we barreled through the trees and around the iron.
Man, hell no. No. It ain't no power circulating in that town. There's no way in the... Nah. They mom was playing tricks on them. They mom was playing tricks on them, y'all. There's no way.
Gate and over to the car, and I remember Olivier opening up the car door, and he's leaning the front seat forward and he's scrambling to try and get into the back seat of the car, and I had just had enough. I remember putting my foot on his ass and just shoving him into the back of the car, standing the seat up, jumped in, slammed the door, and I just said, drive. The director started, oh, what happened? And I said, shut the up and drive. So we made it back home. Mostly unscathed and in one piece. But you know what the craziest part of this whole thing was?
Y'all forgot the light.
You remember those kids I mentioned at the beginning of the story?
Oh, yeah. What happened to them?
Well, when I got home, I started Googling Tranquil. And I started researching that abandoned town. And that's when I found out that Tranquil was an abandoned town where people with tuberculosis would go and live out their final days. And that's when I found out it was the most haunted place in North America. And that's also when I found out that those underground tunnels were used to remove the dead bodies from their houses without having to wheel corpses through the streets of the town and scare the shit out of all the children and everybody else living there.
That makes sense.
But the scariest thing that I found out was that 10 years prior to our experience in Tranquil,
2 kids went?
2 kids went out there ghost hunting. And they fell through the floor in one of the houses and died. A boy and a girl.
Nah. Crazy. Some shit I wouldn't have done. Good story though. Good story. I dig it. Something different on the channel, man. You know what I'm saying? I dig this, man. I hope y'all enjoy this when y'all watch it. Hey, I was intrigued, man. I really ain't say too much. I was listening like y'all was, man, when y'all first watched this. And if this y'all first time, then I hope that y'all enjoyed watching me and my uncle, man. Family, you know, family. We did this together, you know what I'm saying? We told both of our stories. He told the one that actually happened, and I told one that wouldn't have never happened because I wouldn't have never did that.